Hey,
the Bulls.
I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you
Anytime,
enough,
bro.
I can't thank you enough.
Anytime.
I
Phones
can't
all the
thank
way.
you enough.
You know, we go back.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I have no words to explain that. You know, I be joking with TJ all the time about being a novice at this thing. You know, but it's just the truth of it, you know. So, but we're gonna do what we do naturally, man. So, you know, for everybody out there checking in, I'm gonna tell you this real quick. The first time I met bruh sitting to me right here, me and some of my high school fellas, right? You know, they keep up with the high school players and the college players, and the crazy thing about it is they be ordering the magazines, and I can't even tell you the name, but they be having those hoop magazines with everybody in it. So my boys was telling me, like, bro, we're going to the Jordan Riverside game in Jordan. So I was like, yeah, was like, let's do it. And they was like, nah, Jordan, they got the kid out there, Jordan, he tearing it up, signing with Carolina. I was like, hold up, what? We gets to the game, and it was packed in there. Yeah. It was packed.
Riverside, we always had good battles at Riverside too with Carlos Sanford.
Shout
out Famous Los. He's known now as Famous Los.
Right.
We always had good battles over there.
Yeah, listen, bruh, it was packed in there. Y'all did y'all thing. Y'all was in there, you know, hopping and popping. But you see what I'm saying? Like, you know, I had my eyes on you, and I remember somebody from Riverside, I don't remember exactly who the player was, but they took a shot. You got the defensive rebound. And it was a coast-to-coast play. That's when I knew, like, you got the defensive rebound, you was pushing it. A Riverside defender, you know, tried to slow you down, stop the ball, and, you know, you crossed him, right? And then another Riverside defender tried to help him, slow you down, stop the ball. You spun off of him. And when you spun off him, you see like you was already at the rim, and you went up, took the elevator upstairs. And when you put it down, all I saw was your braids, flopping. You know what I'm saying? And I looked at my boys and I said, you know what? You're the truth. So that's, you know, that's the first time I seen you hoop. And I was like, yo, so I wanted to meet you. And then when I finally got the opportunity to meet you, I don't know if you remember what I first said to you, but I was just like, yo, little bro, you got it. Yeah. Go make your family proud. Right. So, for, you know, thank you again for being the actual first guest here on the Turnaround Podcast.
I appreciate that,
man. Introduce yourself, man, to
you know. Justin Watts, from Durham, North Carolina. You know, the Bull City is what we call it. And, you know, I known Stu for, you know, since I was a little jit, like young, man. Heard about him, you know, it's a big city, but it's a small city. Right. You know what I mean? And everybody that's came before you, you kind of, you know, get wind of what they did, how good they used to be, or how good they still are. So I had always, you know, heard about you, seen you around. But, you know, as a young boy, you kind of hesitant to go up to the old heads anyway. Right. But it was that validation. The older I got, the more old heads, you know, would come and just give me little tidbits, little nuggets. So I appreciate y'all for giving me that sense of validation to know that, okay, I must be doing something right. All the work I'm putting in is not going unseen. Right. And I'm a type of person that I don't really do it for recognition anyway. Right. But it's always good to feel or hear from other people. You know, it's always good to hear it sometimes. Right. So I appreciate y'all too, man.
That's right. It's what goes into it is a lot of people don't know what goes into playing a sport, you know, especially reaching high levels. And you're one of those players on those, you know, high tiers and up echelon levels. But, you know, just if you can, I'd definitely like to know, like, how did your road to basketball, what led you to basketball?
To be honest with you, my pop played. Okay. But my pop for the longest didn't want me to play. Okay. So my first sport was soccer.
Oh, man.
Then after soccer, I played baseball.
The footwork from soccer is bananas.
So I played soccer, was my first sport. And I liked soccer. I played soccer up until 8th grade in middle school. Okay. Plus, I had a close friend that was pretty good at soccer. Then I played baseball. My uncle played baseball.
Okay, I ain't no good
baseball is my grandfather's favorite sport.
Okay.
So it wasn't until I got a black eye from playing baseball and I got a little too tall
right
to run around the field in soccer. They put me in goalie, so it became boring. And I would probably say about 8th grade, I started taking basketball seriously.
Okay.
I was playing at 7. Obviously, like I said, my dad played, and when your pop play, it's kind of like he said he would never force me to play. He didn't want me to play because of all the disappointment the game could cause. He didn't want me to be bitter. Kind of some of the things he dealt with.
Okay.
He was trying to kind of protect me from it, but eventually, I took a liking to it, and he gave me a blueprint, and we went to work, and from there, the rest is what you see.
Right. Yeah. Disappointments. Yeah. Yeah. There is disappointments that come along with it. Right. How do you approach disappointments when they come? It's especially on the basketball court, because as a player, I'm sure you've reached some points at the road where you was like,
Right. To be honest, I think it's just the way I've been wired, the way the culture has wired me. You know what I mean?
That's heavy.
A disappointment to me doesn't faze me at all. Like being told no, being told you're not good enough, being critiqued or whatever that may be that you view as a no.
Right.
Doesn't bother me at all. It actually drives me. I loved when I was playing and people were saying, he's overrated or he's not as good as what, whatever it may be. I used to, take notes. I would put stuff in my locker, write little notes down what people say, and it drives me, but I think it's all about how you wired. Some people don't handle disappointments well. But you're never going to be successful in life if you can't bounce back anyway.
Right. That's right.
So, I mean, everybody that's been successful has at some point had a disappointment. And it's about how you bounce back from that disappointment. So
right.
That's just the attitude I take with it.
Okay. That's heavy. I definitely can relate to that. That's what, brought about the turnaround, man. It's like, you're going to take those hits, but, what you're going to do after that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, just in life, because we all going to take those hits. Everybody's experience is just totally different, whether you're an athlete or a non-athlete, I feel like sports, whatever sport anyone may play, the discipline from it, strengthens up our minds, just as well as the body. And, we endure through hardships, and then, like I say, still humans first, the athletes second. But so when you was at Jordan, I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit. When you was at Jordan, it's like,
back.
Yeah, taking it back. Like, yeah, man, like, talk about that high school experience, man, that you can recall. The high school Jay Watts, for the younger, because it's high schoolers that do be checking for the turnaround, and shout out to my high schoolers. They know who they are. I appreciate you guys. They're in other states, other cities, so they be checking in, man. So if you could reach out to them and let them know at that high school level what stood out to you as far as how they advance or get better.
I mean, for one, when I look back on it, I had fun for sure.
That's a
but if I look back, I would tell them the first thing is, like, if you think you're having fun with it, have more fun with it. Because when I got to a certain age, especially when I started getting heavily recruited, it kind of turns into a business.
Right.
And if you're not careful, it can eliminate some of the fun you having with the game.
Okay.
And that's one of the things I always said. When I'm done having fun with it, I'm gonna be done with it.
Right.
But as far as other things on how to advance, it's just everybody says work hard.
Right.
And it sounds so cliche, but there's no tricks. OG like you come to me, you can't show me necessarily a trick. you can, but I still got to work at the trick.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, work ethic and consistency is like the two main ingredients to how you can step forward and go to that collegiate level, and start off being successful at the high school level. Because a lot of people in high school, they're gonna do the bare minimum, just like in life. A lot of people gonna do the bare minimum to get by, and you'll be surprised at how much you can get accomplished in life with just giving a little bit of effort.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the main thing I would say. The three things is work ethic, consistency, and have fun with it.
Have fun with it. That's super important.
Yeah.
To have the fun with it. It makes the work a little easier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know I explained, somewhere in the turnaround about my high school coach. Out of all the coaches I've had, he was the favorite, because he cared about us as people before we was players. And he always said he never cut none of us. You cut yourselves. You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand that until later on, but it was fun. And, because everybody couldn't handle the physicalities that came with what he had to dish out. Right. For his system, which was a loyalty discipline system. You see what I'm saying? And the punishments, so we couldn't handle that. Right. But somebody, for me, that's practical, it was fun. You know what I mean? Like, and it came easily. I guess that's just having a natural gift for what we do. And when you first told me that, you done heard about me, I actually was shocked. Like, because I feel like I'm not a big dog in the city. My name, I feel like my name don't ring bells like that. You know what I mean? So for you to say that to me and let me know that, it touched me and it warmed my heart. I was like, wow, and it was a mutual respect. And I, like I said, bro, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I'm a basketball junkie too, though. So, like, one thing, like, my dad's always big on is respect. Right. Like, that's a principle. So anytime I would go in the gym, he said the only way to get good is you got to copy some people's stuff. So, look around when you're in the gym. Right. See what you like. It could be from a guy that everybody knows, and it could be from a guy that nobody knows. Right. If you see one move that he got that you like, like the kids say now, put it in your bag.
That's right.
So I was a basketball junkie anyway. So I mean, I was looking for every advantage to get better.
That's what we do.
To try to beat the next guy out. I'm super competitive naturally. So that's probably too why it probably shocked you, because I was always looking when I was in the gym, when I couldn't get on the floor and the big kids were playing and the college guys and the pros were coming back. I was still looking to see what part of everybody's game I could take and kind of put in mind.
Right. I think in English they call it like plagiarism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and now I'm in coaching. Coaches do it all the time. It's not illegal.
You don't get written up for it.
Right. You know what I mean? And it's learning. You do take a piece of the next ball player's game, whoever they may be, whoever they. You know what I mean? Like, because I definitely have done it. I mean, like you say, you see something to catch. I like, I want to put that in the bag.
I like that. I like that.
Add to the repertoire. You know what I'm saying? But that's that was one of many reasons why, I asked you to come on to the podcast, because we're relatable, and definitely we share the same passion and the same love, and our roads are different, but somewhere down that road, our morals meet, our values meet, our passions meet, and what we do is a rarity. I always say that the NBA players, and you know this as well as I do, and any other basketball junkie, it's a collection of some of the best players in the world. Right. And guys such as you and myself, we're a collection of some of the best basketball players in the world outside the NBA. Right. And being from our city, Durham, it's only so many players from our city that went drafted to the NBA, and the first John Lucas, so big shout out to him, And I met, John, cool dude, and then the second, T-Top.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The world knows Rodney Rogers, but we know him as Top. You know what I'm saying? Big brother, and I love you, and the third, and that's his name too, third. You know what I mean? D. Noel.
Yeah.
And y'all dudes went to UNC Chapel Hill. If I could have chosen any college, it would have been the Tar Heels.
Right.
But again, journey's different.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and when you first got to Carolina, I know, and I talked with you, one of the first things I asked, I'm going to ask you again, like, man, how did that feel?
It was, I came in as a freshman and we wanted to ship right off the bat. So, like you said, you came to my high school game and it was packed and had a good vibe and everything.
Right.
But man, walking through a tunnel, going into Ford Field, national championship game, and it's 100,000 people out there. It's kind of like you lose all emotions at some point because it's kind of overwhelming. So you don't really realize what you were in or what you were a part of until after it happens.
Okay.
So to be honest, I can't even tell you how it felt. I know running through the tunnel the first time felt crazy. Although, we go out there and we practice all the time, but to actually run through it the first time.
Right.
And, you got, the college sounds going off that you done seen on the video games and all that. And like, I'm one of these people now.
Right.
It's a surreal feeling for sure.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I bet, man. I bet anywhere, the Tar Heels, man. We, I come from a Tar Heel family, my mom definitely loved the Tar Heels. I know I love the Tar Heels. But to see you and bruh, there, when D. Noel was there, and then, like it was, the city was proud.
Yeah.
I know the city was proud. You know what I'm saying? Like the city was proud. I know I done told both of you that the city proud.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I've always been proud and happy, for y'all both, you know what I mean? And I admire y'all dudes, man. Cause that's not easy.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's a part of being great too, cause y'all great in your own rights. It's been said that to be great is to take something difficult and make it look easy.
Right.
And you made it, look easy. D. Noel made it look easy, and those who come, on that same path as you guys made it look easy when it's not.
Right.
So whatever experiences outside of what you just displayed to everybody, what other experience are you willing to share about being a Tar Heel, man, and just like you said, coming through that tunnel and 100,000, like
Right. Well, I'll give you a story that I probably have never told anybody.
That's what's up. So
just because I'm the first on the pod, it's for the city,
right?
It's for the bull.
Right.
I was not about to go to Carolina.
Man, that's
right. That sounds crazy. Being from the area, everybody dreams schools either Duke or Carolina.
Right.
And you're sitting here, you got an opportunity to go, and you're not gonna go.
Right.
But to bring it full circle, my first college letter ever getting recruiting letter was Carolina, 9th grade.
Okay.
2005.
Okay.
First letter I ever received was North Carolina. So they were the first school to ever, technically recruit me, right?
That's what's up. That's what's up.
But as the story goes on, 10th grade year, I started picking up scholarship offers.
Okay.
So as a sophomore, my first scholarship offer was ECU. And then after that, a lot of mid-majors, George Mason, a lot of mid-majors. And then by the time my junior year came, I had become nationally rated, and I was #1 shooting guard in the state of North Carolina. So every ACC school started recruiting me. I went through Dave Tellup's Scout.com challenge that they had back in the day. Dave doesn't do it anymore. He's with the Spurs now. But Carolina came back, but at the same time, I had narrowed it down to 5 schools. You get 5 official visits.
Okay. That's right.
And some of the schools I went to, man, it was just like, it's no way, like, I would go there and the school was like, there's no way you're leaving, getting out of Carolina. Like, we don't even know why you're here. So they already was on that type of energy, like, man, he don't want to come here for real. Like, he just taking the visits because he got 5 visits.
Yeah.
So the first one I went to was Temple University. I liked the coach. It was in Philly.
Right.
Not the biggest mistake I made, but probably the thing I shouldn't have did was take my mom on the visit because she hated it. Temple was smacking the hood. She did not want her baby being in the hood.
Right. Rightfully so.
And so we got up there, and literally within the first 4 hours, she was like, "You're not coming here."
That's what's up.
But I had to stay up there. They had everything planned out for me. We went out to eat with the coaches, and I went to classes with the guys, and et cetera, et cetera. But then after that, I went to University of South Carolina.
Okay. The Gamecocks.
The Gamecocks. Yeah.
Okay.
So I went down there, but this time I took my Pop because I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take Pop this time because maybe he gonna give me a little leash. Moms ain't never, especially in black communities, they never gave no leash like that. So
that's understandable.
We go down there, and there was a former guy that played football from the city named Wesley Saunders.
Yeah.
So Wes was already down there, and he had already did a year. So I had like somebody who I was, knew, familiar with.
Right. That's right.
Like,
That's right.
This is gonna be a nice little, I can come in. He's gonna put me on whatever I need to be put on.
That's right. That's right.
And so we went to the game. They played Tennessee. Loved the environment. Dave Odom, loved him as a coach.
Okay.
And he got the Hillside ties too, the Durham ties. So
right.
It was kind of already there. Everything was kind of written.
Right.
And then after that, Johnny Dawkins, who was at Duke, but he had just left to go to California, Stanford.
Okay, that's right.
We had a relationship just being from the city as well. His sons, were friends. My younger brother was friends with his sons. And he started, recruiting me at Stanford, and had went, and my mom was just like, that's too far.
Now where Stanford
Stanford's in Palo Alto, California.
Okay, that's okay.
Right. So then after that, Illinois was recruiting me heavy too. Loved Illinois, and then it was Michigan.
Okay. You had some serious.
So I was about to go to Michigan, and it was a snowstorm, so the flight got canceled.
Okay.
So we couldn't go. Me and my mom couldn't go. And then Illinois had a coaching change.
Okay.
Well, Palo Alto was too far. Temple moms ain't signing off on it.
Right.
So it was down to South Carolina and North Carolina.
North Carolina.
And Dave Odom calls me one day, and he's like, I'm getting too old for this. I'm going to retire. I'm like, all right. He was like, your scholarship's still on the table if you want. The coaching staff coming in, they're new, but they're going to honor it. Okay. And I had talked to a couple people that, was trying to, take me through the course of how things go. And they were like, you got to be careful about that because the new coaching staff can honor it, but then they can recruit over you.
Right.
So then Roy called me one night, and he was like, hey, we got one on the table for you. Like, what you want to do? And at that point, it was kind of like, let's go to the hill. You know what I mean? Let's work hard when we get there. Let's not worry about anything, other than let's put in the work and live with the results. You know what I mean? But, everybody always thinks it was the first choice. It wasn't the first choice. So.
That's super awesome to get that, to learn that, about you. You know what I mean? Like the process that went into that and the decision.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, especially like I said, with mom not signing off on the Temple thing. Yeah. That's huge. But I'm glad it turned out the way it did for you. Happy.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, because you look great in a Tar Heel uniform. You know what I mean? Like, like I said, I know I was proud, happy for you. But those other schools too were some juggernauts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and Michigan,
it was Michigan. It was John Beilein's first year having a coaching job.
Okay.
So it wasn't the Michigan that everybody said. I think they were, they were in the Big Ten. They were in the middle of the pack. You know, it was kind of risky to go down there and be up there and not know what to expect being away from home for real for the first time in the cold too. But yeah, that like historically, it was some good programs.
And you know what?
To go to.
For some, see this how like geographically speaking, like how I'm throwing up. I'm thinking Stanford up north somewhere.
Yeah, that's in Cali.
I did not know that. Up
like north, way out in Cali, though.
Straight brain fart.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm so anti-social media, inclined. I don't even know how to go live on Instagram. I've been sitting here trying to figure it out for the past little few seconds. How you do that? Yeah, I was trying to figure it out, but I couldn't figure it out.
They change it. They change it every day, man. They just did some updates. So you go to the plus sign right there.
Okay.
Then go to the live.
Okay.
And then you're going to just press that button right there.
See, I ain't even know all that.
Yeah.
And it's connecting.
Yeah, it's connecting.
And should tell everybody
once it pop on the screen, you live now.
That's what's up. I'm going to just post it on up. Whatever the case, woo, let it do what it do. Cool. But, bruh.
Los, you just missed a shout out I gave you, my boy.
I ain't talked to Los in a minute.
I stopped talking bad about you as soon as you got in the live.
That's what's up. Yeah, for those, we just went live. We got Jay Watts in the building on the Turnaround podcast, man. And just trying to switch gears real quick, going into the 2023 and the 2024 with the turnaround. So yeah, Jay, man, going pro,
right?
Going pro. Now talking about switching gears from high school to college to then going international. How did that feel on the inside? Because I know how I felt on the inside, playing international. How was that experience for you?
My first experience, I went to Turkey, Izmir, Turkey. And I actually had went on a tryout because they were questioning like, oh, can you play at this level? It was first league Turkey, so
okay.
They got a couple Euro League teams out there and whatnot.
Right.
And I went out there and didn't know how to speak the language at all.
Right.
No one there really knew how to speak English because I wasn't in Istanbul, so Izmir is kind of like by the beach, kind of on the coast outside of Istanbul, about an hour 30, not that far.
Okay.
And I got there and I was like, oh man, this can't be it. That's the first thing I thought. Right. I went to Burger King over there the first time and I ordered a cheeseburger, man. And they gave me a cheeseburger. Like literally gave me bun
right
with a block of cheese. So I didn't know I had to be, say it verbatim, like, let me get a hamburger with cheese. I thought, cheeseburger.
Right.
The patty come with it where we from.
Right, that's right.
You ain't gonna hold a patty. So I was like, nah, this can't be it. The team, since I was on the tryout, was kind of trying to, be janky with everything. And
just gonna use that word.
They had me on the couch, sleeping. Didn't have any towels to take a shower, no washcloths. Like really, out there.
That's the grind.
Right.
Yeah, that's the grind.
So I played in my first game, and I think I dropped like 27 first game.
I know it. I know you. Beautiful work.
And then after that, we had a back-to-back. I came back with another 27 ball. And like everybody who knows me too, like I've always just been consistent, right? Like I'll give you 30, 40 every once in a while.
Right.
But the way I'm on average,
also.
Yeah, the way I'm on average 25 is I'm just going to be consistent. 24, 25, 27, 28, 22, 25, 26, right. 27, 27, 27, 28.
That's right.
22, 22, 25, 28. I'm not going 40, 45, 38, and then having a 6-point game.
Right.
That's right. So we played 2 games, 27 both games, and they were kind of trying to say it was a fluke. Like, oh, we haven't played against the best teams yet in preseason, et cetera, et cetera. Meanwhile, I'm still asking them every day for a bed.
Right. Okay.
I'm just like, let me get a cot or something, because it was one of the couches that, it was like a 2-seater. So I'm 6'4". I'm not even comfortable. We doing 2-a-day practices.
Right.
I'm using a t-shirt to dry off, and then throwing another t-shirt over me to sleep at night. The horn going off for the prayer at 6 a.m. So I really ain't getting no good sleep.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, let me just get a bed, like a cot, something.
Right.
I can stretch out. I'm not cramping up at night.
Yeah.
And they kept telling me tomorrow. And that's like any of my overseas hoopers that are actually listening.
Talk to them.
Y'all know the favorite word for overseas GMs and coaches and management is tomorrow. And tomorrow will turn into 2 months, 3 months. I still have a team. That's another story. But I still got a team that owe me 40 bands.
Wow.
Still got one.
I believe it.
So
I know it.
They keep doing that. They're telling me tomorrow, and then they finally say, "Yo, the bed came today, but you weren't there." Now they haven't given me a car. I'm not going anywhere. You know, I'm going to practice in the morning, coming back, taking a nap, going to practice at 5 to 7, coming back, day over. So I'm like, yo, y'all playing around, man. Like, the couch is right by the door. I'm not missing any knocks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So they waited until we played this good team and gave the good team 28, like performed better.
Right.
That night after the game, they were trying to call the doctor to get the doctor to open up. And now I'm really ready to get my physical. Now they want me to sign a 2-year deal, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So I called my mom and to go back earlier what we said in the pod, you know, my dad's big on principles and the main one is respect.
Right. Okay. That's right.
So I told my mom, I said, I'm going to leave. In the middle of the night, I left. I learned how to get to the airport in Turkish from one of my teammates.
Okay.
And just repeated it all night so I was able to order the taxi and just tell them, like, take me to the airport.
Take me to the airport.
So I left in the middle of the night, was supposed to meet with the owner the next day and sign a 2-year deal. And got home. When I got home, my mom was like, yo, they've been calling the phone. They think, like, you know, Turkey, you know, kidnapping and all that.
Yeah.
Like the movie Taken, that's where Taken is, you know, filmed at in Istanbul, Turkey. So my mom like, nah, he all right, he here at the house.
Right.
So they like, what we got to do to get him to come back? And I was like, I had told my mom then, I was like, yo, if that's what, you know, playing in Europe is like, I'm done. I'm not playing no more. Like, I'm done. I'm over it. I'm about to just figure something out.
Right.
Et cetera, et cetera. So I played professionally for 11 years.
They put a nice career together.
So foreshadowing, I didn't stop for everybody listening. But within that first year, I was about to just call it quits and like, I'm not even a quitter, you know what I mean? But I just didn't want to deal with, if that's what it was going to be like, everything that I had worked for, I was like, it's kind of disrespectful to treat somebody like that, right?
Right.
Long story short, I ended up having a great experience about 2 months later, right when I was just like, I'm about to just toss them, you know what I mean? Shoes over the power line, deuces, Marshawn Lynch, I'm out. Right. A team in Aussie called me, Australia.
Okay.
And I went out there and I had a great experience, great people. Shout out Aussie, Sydney.
That's what's up.
Rockhampton, Brisbane, all the cities out there that showed me love when I was out there. I appreciate y'all.
Definitely. Taking care of one out of city on.
Great experience. End up winning the ship first year out there.
Okay.
And, you know, still, you know, have a great relationship with some of those guys I played with.
Right.
And even some of the GMs and coaches, I think they still got the same GM out there.
Okay.
And that experience in itself told me, okay, if this is what it's like,
Australia,
I'm gonna ride this thing out and see what we can do with it. So.
Yeah. Now I know that experience had to have been a great one down in Australia, man. That's a long ways from home.
22-hour flight.
Right. A long ways from home.
I left on Monday, got there Thursday morning. I didn't even see Tuesday and Wednesday.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, you got the layovers, and then you got the, you know, changes. Right. So
you was probably a zombie. You know what I mean?
Got there, and like I said, didn't even know what day it was.
Right.
I'm calling my mom like, yo, I landed.
Yeah.
She's like, all right. I said, she said, what you about to do? I said, well, we off this weekend. She was like, weekend? I was like, yeah, it's like about to be Friday here. She was like, oh, it's Wednesday night here.
Right. Right.
So that was a different too.
Flying from different time
being
zones,
able
right?
to communicate with different time zones. I
right.
Get used to that.
Yeah. Down in Australia, man. You got it's some great players come out of Australia also, both in the WNBA and the NBA. How was the competition down there?
The competition was actually surprisingly great. I had a guy on my team, Stevie Way. Shout out Stevie Way.
Stevie Way.
He went to Utah. So some of the guys over there end up playing in college in the States, and then they go back because, obviously you're a native there, you get paid more money. And it's home.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's home for them.
Okay.
So the competition was surprisingly great. Now, it wasn't, what I was used to practicing against every day. Because, playing against first rounders and lottery picks every day, it don't get much better than that unless you go play, Kobe Bryant or some NBA All-Stars. So outside of that, which is, 25 or so people in the world that I'm speaking of, it was a great, solid competition. And the more I played, that was a rookie season, rookie deal. So after I was able to prove myself and work my way up, I eventually got the opportunity to play in like Champions League, Euro League, things of that sort. To where you have, basically ex-NBA guys that, maybe, got cut, played in the league for a couple of years. Now they're in Europe. You're actually playing, over there. So I was able to experience some good competition as well.
What would you tell the listeners, checking about, the work ethic that goes into this thing and able to sustain it? Talk about that.
I would definitely say it's a grind. It's a day-to-day grind. And the first thing you got to do is understand what you signed up for.
Right.
I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of cats, they started playing basketball, and we all did for certain reasons. So, the shoes, the popularity, the girls, stuff that, the surface level, really. But you also got to understand what you're signing up for is the sacrifices. So you may not get a Christmas.
That's
you may
right.
not get a
That's
Thanksgiving. You may not get a New Year's. You may not even get your birthday.
Right.
You know what I mean? You may be in the gym on your birthday.
That's right.
And just being away from family is something that I know is hard for a lot of guys.
Right.
Because no one accomplishes anything in life without a good support.
Without a good support system.
Team. So when you're away, it's almost for overseas. When you're away, the bigger challenge is staying mentally, strong and finding a place while you're all the way over there to still be able to not be mentally distracted when you get on the court.
That's
because, at the end of the day, people gonna say basketball is basketball, but when you off the court and you're dealing with certain things, sometimes you can let it linger on the court. And that's the first thing of being a pro. Just like, people here working regular jobs, You can't take work home and you can't take home to work.
Right.
That's part of being a pro. That's what a professional is. So I think that's the first thing that all the overseas guys listening have to understand is like, know what you're signing up for. You can go over there and, I've had some nice contracts where I'm making tons of money, more money than I'm, people making in a year over here. I'm making it in a month.
That's right.
I got my own chef, I got my own driver, and y'all seeing it from, the point of view I'm letting y'all see it from. But that's also year 8 for me. Y'all didn't see me in the tryout.
Right.
Y'all didn't see me year 1.
Right, the growth of it.
So it's not gonna happen overnight, and you gotta embrace the process.
That's right.
Enjoy the process, but you also gotta respect the process.
Right.
So that's the main thing, just understanding what you sign up for.
That's huge. That's huge. That's huge, and that's some jewels. Some jewels. I want to switch gears. Man, and because your intellect and as athletes, and people, we're people first, and then athletes secondly. We see and we hear about the social dilemmas that go on. So we don't have to get super deep into any conversations about anything, but just touch on some social dilemmas, man. I would like to get like your input on certain social dilemmas, man. Like I'm just domestic violence. You know, what are your thoughts about domestic violence for dudes who like to put their hands on women?
Well, I was raised where you just don't do it. But I understand too, it's a lot of people out here that are dealing with, mental health is big now.
Right.
So I don't want to make an excuse for anyone for hitting a woman to blame it on mental health. But you got to learn how to. You become very powerful when you're able to control your emotions.
Mm.
And it's very difficult because now you're essentially telling yourself to not be a human. You're taking the human factor out of it. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm gonna keep going back to it. I'm big on principles.
Right.
That's the way I was raised. I was raised by an old school cat. Big on principles, and one of them is respect.
Right.
And you don't touch nobody really, let alone a female.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unless it calls upon that, and I'm not gonna say every situation. The guy just randomly hauls off and haymaker somebody, but
right.
At the end of the day, you gotta understand you're a male. You gotta understand, you gotta respect the female, no matter what the case may be.
That's right. That's right.
And if it does get to that point, you gotta control your emotions.
Control your emotions.
And it's easier said than done because
right.
It's a lot of good women out here. Shout out to all the good women.
Right.
But it's a lot of trifling women out here too.
That it is.
It is what it is. But there's also a lot of good men out here, and there's also a lot of trifling men out here that have made good women trifling.
Right.
Vice versa.
I agree with that.
So like I said, I don't want to speak on it and just give a verbatim, in stone answer. But how I was raised is like, if anything, how it is back in, how we do it around here. If anything, I'm gonna get my sister on you.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or my cousin.
Yeah.
She a female, so she can hit you.
Yeah, that's right.
But you don't want to take matters into your own hands with that. So.
Right.
But I don't condone violence, so.
Yeah. And that's part of the turnaround motives to speak out against violence. We all got different walks of life. And at one point in time, that's how I resolved things. In my adolescent days, middle school, high school, I was attracted to it.
Right.
The fighting, robberies and things like that, and paid prices for those, endeavors. So, I'm quick, to let the youth know, don't take that route. Unless you think you cut out for what come next. Right. And you're gonna have to tolerate that. Not nobody else. You're gonna have to tolerate that. Then you're gonna see how tough you really is.
Right.
When they put you where the tough guys at. And that's only two places. Cemetery or the penitentiary.
Right.
And I'm definitely in a rush to get to the cemetery. So, but
keep on living.
But just to get your input, on like I say some topics that that are not really discussed. You said something that stuck out with mental health. It was in the turnaround where I shared my mental health dilemmas, going through depression and alcohol abuse, right? And it doesn't have no face. So, family members had no idea. You know what I mean? My closest friends had no idea that this is what I was going through on the inside. So, just, speak about your thoughts about people in mental health and, what they go through and maybe, any solutions, you think would be constructive for those who are going through mental health issues?
As far as mental health goes, I feel like the main cause of mental health is how, because I hear about, not to say that this is the only people that have mental health issues, but a lot of people that I hear, go public about having, struggling with mental health is black males and males in general.
Right.
I haven't heard much, a podcast or, clip of a female saying I was mentally in a place.
Yeah.
Because females do a good job of expressing themselves,
right,
and expressing their emotions. And I think mental health, part of what, you know, causes it is the way society has, you know, brainwashed or just made men feel like you're not supposed to express your emotions.
Right.
So we end up holding a lot of stuff in.
Holding it in.
And, you know, we're supposed to be tough.
Right.
You know, when we fall down when we're young, it's you all right, get up, shake it off. If a girl fall down and she cry, everybody pick her up.
Right.
You know, so I think part of it is how society has brainwashed us, and then over time, we just think that's how it's supposed to be. So when something is bothering us, it's kind of like we supposed to get over it.
Right.
And once I said, like I said before, now you asking me not to be human.
Right.
Because now you're saying, if I want to talk to something about something that's bothering me,
right,
I don't want to talk about it because you're gonna think I'm complaining. And it don't mean I'm complaining. It just means, you know, I'm a human. I'm feeling a certain type of way. This is bothering me. What you did, how I felt when you did this, or just, man, I'm in a space right now where I just need somebody to be around. But it comes off as weak.
Right.
It comes off as complaining, or it comes off as it's kind of like, you know, soft.
Right.
You know, and all those three things, if you know, put that beside a man's name, you saying he's not a man for real.
Exactly.
So a lot of guys, I think, we end up being, especially men, as far as mental health. And like I said, women, I know you guys have it too, but I've come across a lot of people with mental health issues, and like 85-90% of them are men. And I think we kind of become detrimental to ourselves.
Right.
Because we're trying to uphold this image that society wants us to uphold, and it's truly not, you know, something you can uphold as a human being in itself.
Right.
So as far as mental health goes, I think the first thing you got to do is, you know, you got to talk. You got to talk to people. You got to communicate. You got to be open to feeling comfortable enough and being vulnerable enough to tell somebody,
that's right,
like, man,
that's
I
right,
need some help.
That's right.
And I think that's the biggest issue, because a lot of people don't know everybody's true intentions. For me personally, one of my biggest fears, you know, when you go in class and everybody says, "Oh, what's your biggest fear?" and people say quicksand and bees and spiders and all that. You know, one of my biggest fears is meeting people and not knowing their true intentions.
Right.
You know, that scares me.
Right.
Because it's like, are you really around for me, or are you around for this? You around to stab me in the back? You're around for, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So I know a lot of people already have trust issues, and they don't feel like talking to people.
Right.
So that's it goes back to what we were talking about with having a good support group. Having, you know, a friend, or, you know, friends or a friend around who's a phone call away or a house away, that you can go over there in a judge-free zone.
Right.
And they gonna rock with you if you're happy and it's time to go out and hit the club and do whatever.
Yeah.
Or they gonna rock with you if you come over there and say, I ain't got no money, I'm broke, man, I need $2 to eat.
Right.
You still rocking with me?
Right.
Or you gonna say you ain't got it and kick me out, and then go tell everybody, man, he came over to my house crying.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's all about who you surround yourself with mental health, because everybody's gonna have a bad day.
That's
Every
right.
day is not gonna be good.
Right.
But just surround yourself with a good team and true friends. And you know who your true friends are.
Right.
Sometimes we don't like to see, they say red flags now. Sometimes we don't like to see the red flags. But we know who they are, and, you know, when someone shows you who they are, you gotta listen.
You gotta believe it.
You gotta believe it. So, yeah, surround yourself with good people.
Okay.
Don't feel like you can't talk to nobody.
Right.
Being emotionally available is not being soft.
Right.
It's being human.
Right. That's right. That's right. That's huge, man. That's huge, man. That's huge, man. And I hope, you know, anybody taking heed to that. You know what I mean? That's heavy. You know. So, you know, what's next with Jay Watts, man? Like, how can people get in touch with you? How can they follow you? You know, for those who don't know, man, how can they support you, man?
I'm on IG, JWatts_24. Also, my Twitter is the same, I believe. I don't use Twitter as much. I'm trying to get back on it. The whole TikTok and Snapchat, I don't do that.
I don't know anything about it.
Like I said, I was raised by an old school cat, so I'm getting used to the social media as well. Yeah. Just being comfortable with putting more stuff out there so people can see into what's going on in my life.
Yeah, the material.
I never thought I was that important for someone to know what I was doing. I always feel like it's bigger than me anyway. So that's just me, how I am as a person. But
I relate.
JWatts_24 on both platforms, social media, Twitter and Instagram. But I just retired this year, man.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about getting into the youth. I think it's a lot of kids out here, especially in the city, that have dreams and desires of doing what I did and what Dino did and others,
right.
Rodney Rogers, John Lucas, but
right.
still all those other guys that we didn't mention and may not be household names, but they went and played, experienced some things.
Yeah.
I want to be able to help those kids reach those goals and desires of their heart, because I know how much fun it was for me.
Right.
I know everybody doesn't have someone in their path to sometimes give you guidance to help you, and I think if I can help somebody now that I have free time, I can do that. So you came to the Father's Day clinic this year, but I've been doing that for 5 years now.
Tell them about your basketball camps.
Yeah, I've been doing a Father's Day clinic for the last 5 years. So while I was playing, I kind of started it. It was a way to honor my father. Although I probably can never repay him back, but it's just a way to give a blueprint to the kids that are less fortunate, that can't go to the fancy camps that cost hundreds of dollars. So I've been trying to do that, and then we have another one over at Southern High School, 4 quarters. We've been doing it for 8 years, but we had to take off a little bit because of COVID and stuff.
Now, you got any web addresses?
I do. I got a web address. I got whatshappening.com.
There you go.
I obviously got a podcast myself I was doing during the pandemic called What's Happening.
That's right. That's right.
Had a couple NBA guys on there, WNBA, comedians.
Right.
Social influencers. And, sometimes we'll get on there and we'll talk about, men versus women, politics, et cetera, but
shit.
Other than that, I'm around, trying to figure it out just like everybody else. I'm going to enjoy life for a little bit because some of those sacrifices I made, I missed out on.
Yeah.
Some life things.
Right.
Missed out on some graduations and family and birthdays. So just trying to catch up with people, although, you can't catch up with time.
Right.
But I'll be around trying to get to the youth and try to help the city, build a solid future with those youth guys.
That's what's up. I know we this time session is running short. But I definitely want to congratulate you on, a magnificent career.
Appreciate you.
I want to, say, that I'm appreciative of you, the person, the man, not just the ball player, but the person, the young man. And I know I've told you this before, your parents did an amazing job with you, because there's a lot of dudes your age, my age too, and younger, they go down the wrong path and they never come back. You see what I'm saying? And they go in and out those doors. And and I'm sure a lot of them would say if they could go back and do it all over again, they would do something different. You know what I mean? Because and we didn't really get into this particular conversation, but the prison population here in America, which is definitely flooded, with brothers, So, and I spent some time on state. So I was in the belly of the beast, so I saw it from a different perspective, living it, and like I said, it's a whole nother story, But again, man, I just want to congratulate you, man, and like I said, I can't thank you enough, for taking time out your busy schedule, to come show, like you were saying a little earlier. Like I feel like I'm not important to nobody. Maybe right. Certain people, they might look at me like I'm important, but. For you to take time out your day, out your schedule, that's huge, man. I really appreciate it, And like I said, I know this time session is probably coming short, man. But before we conclude, man, you made me, remember that I wanted to shout out, those who, from our city who went to the league, not just T-Tot, David Noel and, John Lucas, but we got TJ Warren.
Yeah. Young boy.
We got Murphy, Trey Murphy.
Young boy doing great.
Yep, just hung out with his pops, so just a few days ago, because he close friend with some of my older cousins. Who else we got out there?
We got a lot of cats out there, man.
And
we got the kid from Arkansas, Ricky Council.
Okay.
Southern High School.
Okay.
He was with Philly in the summer league.
Shout him out. Shout him out.
We got a lot of cats, man. We got a lot of guys too that, went and Josh Hall. The list goes on. We got a lot of guys that are in colleges too. For free.
That's what's
up.
up.
That's a major accomplishment.
That's what's up.
And we could be here all day shouting them out.
That's what's up, Bull City.
But yeah, I feel like they try to put us together. The Raleigh Durham area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
Shout out all the Raleigh guys too. But as far as Durham, I think we're a good hotbed. I think North Carolina is one of the hotbeds for hoop anyway, high school hoops.
Yeah.
And the culture, man, is growing. Kids getting better at early ages.
Right. And that's because of brothers like you, though.
Yeah.
Holding these camps and hosting these camps and putting it out there, getting these NBA players involved and bringing them back to our city.
Right.
That's huge, man.
Right.
That's huge, So, I congratulate you, man. And, like I said, man, I always let you know, man, I admire what you're doing, man. And,
appreciate you.
Special shout out to Larry Gene Johnson, Andre
Gene
McCullough.
Shoe.
Yeah,
I stole one of his moves. That's the snatch back.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I took that out of the bag.
Yeah. Gene, I call him Big Bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, he was a grown man.
Yeah.
8th grade.
Smooth with it too. I tell you, bruh is smooth with it though.
Andre McCullough.
Yeah.
He put on a couple shows
there
at the pro end.
Yeah. Dre, Julian Gamble, what up with it, homie?
JG, alarm clock, you already know. That's an insider. Y'all don't know about that. We play AAU together.
Word. Yeah.
Yeah, we play AAU together for the Squires.
Okay.
He was a year older than me at the time, so 17 under. But we came up with an insider alarm clock because we was going around. AAU, you might start off at 8 a.m.
Right.
People ain't up yet.
Okay.
We
right.
coming out there and we waking them up.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
We were slaughter ruling all y'all favorite AAU teams. We were beating them by 20 before they were stopping the game in the third.
That's what's up.
So we had a good time with that.
Yeah, I bet. Y'all two together alone gonna give them hell. Like, they ain't ready for that.
We in Richmond Squires too, we had a Karan Johnson who's from Richmond, Jackson Ward.
Okay.
Richmond. So he's probably, to me, man, he's top 5 in my book.
Okay.
First ballot in my book. He had a couple injuries. Had committed to Oklahoma State, but some didn't pan out. He came down to Shaw. He played at Shaw for a couple of years.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, between us three and then Lenny Daniels, who had went to Mount Zion, shout out Lenny.
Okay.
He's still playing too.
That's what's up.
We were smacking cats.
That's what's up. Speaking of Oklahoma State, man, shout out to Kirby. What up with you?
Mario Bogan too.
Yeah, Mario Bogan. Yeah.
Top 5 in my book too.
Yeah, Big Bo.
Shout out Bogan.
You know what I mean? Yeah, man, for real, man. Anthony King, man. So, Bull City. So, man, we love y'all out there. Keep checking for us. And, it's been an honor, just to have you, man, and to share time and space, man. Like I said, I can't thank you enough,
All love, bro.
Hopefully we can do it again and, maybe cover some other topics or something like that, man. This is just the first of many, you know what I mean? And, we're gonna keep, finding ways to innovate, and get it hopping and popping.